One of my favorite things in the world to do is watch Friends. I know it's been off for years and years. It's not even around, but I still find myself binge watching old episodes. And I was thinking about this today and thinking, it's the predictability of the friends in the circle, right? You have Chandler with his quirkiness, Monica with her type A of just everything has to be so neat and tidy and organized. It's Phoebe's ability to make you laugh at her silly songs. Ross always comes in with those smart comments, and Joey and him and his food, like it is just so hilarious. And of course, Rachel, she just brings everybody together, and it's just such this beautiful, cohesive team of people. And it's why I wanted to come on and share with you today that I have an opportunity for you to find your friends in the content creation space. So if you are thinking about creating your first or your next digital course, I don't want you to miss this opportunity because Amy Porterfield just opened the doors for registration for her Course Confident Bootcamp. And I'm actually offering a special bonus for anyone that registers for the Course Confident Bootcamp through my special link. So I want you to go to crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp to register. That's crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp. And what you're going to find when you get there is I have this special bonus private podcast series. It's called Money Mindset for Creators. So I want you to go register for Amy's bootcamp, download the podcast, and immediately start listening to it, because what this training is set up to do is to help you get your mind right about monetizing your content, making money so that you can fuel your content creation dreams. So go to crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp to register for Course Confident. And I cannot wait for you to find your friends and find the people that will be there for you. Do you see what I did there? Yeah, nice little friends segue connection. Go to crystalprofit.com/Amy-bootcamp. And I cannot wait to see you inside. Okay, let's get into today's episode. Okay, I'm just going to come out and say it. I cannot wait to share with you the conversation that I had today. I am over the moon excited for what you're about to hear, because I still fangirl so much. And if you don't know what that term means, I still feel funny saying it, because I feel like I'm like one of the kids that's like saying something to my grandparents, and I'm saying like, oh my gosh, I'm a fangirl. The reason why I say that is because I'll say something that I hear all the time in the online space, and my husband looks at me like, what are you even talking about? Because he's never heard that term before. So fangirling is something that you do whenever one woman is absolutely admiring another woman. And I know it's like super silly, and I don't know what the equivalent would be from a man to a man, like you're bro fanning. I don't know, just made that up, whatever. Anyway, so today's conversation is actually with my mentor, and I cannot wait to share it with you. So let's get right to it. Welcome to the Profit Podcast, where we teach entrepreneurs how to start, launch, and market their podcast. I'm your host, Crystal Profit, and I'm so excited that you're here. Thanks for hanging out with me today, because if you've been trying to figure out the world of podcasting, think of this show as the time-saving shortcut you've been looking for. So let's get right to it, shall we? Okay, so we are just going to get right to the conversation today, because I wanted to tell you a little bit about my mentor. My mentor is Amy Porterfield, and she teaches entrepreneurs how to create a business that gives them financial freedom through digital courses. And she has taught me so many things, not only about digital courses and building your email list, but just about business in general, which is really funny because, I went to school for business, like it's what I got my degree in, yet Amy teaches the things that are not taught in textbooks. I mean, who knows? Maybe they will be one day, but and that makes me feel old to say textbooks because I do realize that everything is electronic these days, but still we had textbooks whenever I was still in college and in school. But I wanted to tell you about this conversation that we had because I have gone through a few different programs with Amy, and she actually chose me in 2020 to be one of her mentors for a bonus experience that she has for the program BSchool, which Marie Forleo is the creator of BSchool. But what Amy does is she offers a bonus experience for other people to go through the program with her. So it's like you're getting 2 experts for the price of 1 whenever you join under Amy. So I did the program last year, and this year I was chosen to be a mentor. But before I dive into this conversation, I really wanted to actually share a quote that Amy Porterfield had about mentors, because her saying this just made me think, oh my gosh, like it's not just me that finds 1,000 different people online to learn from. And then I'm like, oh my, who do I listen to? Who's the right person for me? So I took this quote from her podcast episode. She has the Online Marketing Made Easy podcast, and it's episode 313, How to Find the Right Business Mentor. So if this is something that you are still curious about, I highly encourage you to go check that out. It will be in the show notes, crystalprofit.com/episode 176. But her definition of the difference between a mentor and people that you admire, both online and in person, is that a mentor has gone before you and has succeeded in a way that you aspire to succeed. They give you the tools and content that can directly apply to your business and even your life. Conversely, people who you admire, you enjoy following them and seeing what they're up to. However, they don't necessarily align with your needs or ambitions of your business. I think the biggest distinction when it comes to a mentor is that with a mentor, you take time to truly understand their values, their philosophies. You're a student of how they do business, and you feel that you're aligned with all those things. And this is something that happens over time, not necessarily right away. So that's her definition, or the difference between someone you admire and a mentor. And I couldn't agree more, because there are a lot of people that I have learned from online who I've realized, oh, they're not really my mentor. I just kind of admire what they've done, and I've seen, how successful they are, but I don't necessarily aspire to have the type of lifestyle that they've created or the type of business that they've created for themselves. I chose Amy as my mentor because she's just so much fun. Anytime I see her online, she always has a smile on her face, and she just looks like she is having the time of her life. And that is something that I look for in my superiors. I'm thinking back to my corporate days. I would think back to my bosses that I had whenever I was in a position, where there was probably like 7 or 8 managers above my position. And I remember looking at their jobs and their lifestyles and what they did and thinking, I don't want any of their jobs. They were always working. They were always plugged in. It seemed like they never really left early to go hang out with their family. They were just always go, 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 go with the business. And I thought, I don't know that I want to do that. But then when I found Amy, she is just super smart, and she has a lifestyle that gives her the freedom to work when she wants to in her business. And it's so cool. So all of that to say, I'm really excited to share this conversation with you today with my good friend and mentor, Amy Porterfield. And I know it's totally going to sound like an ad for BSchool, because this was during her promotional period for the BSchool program. But I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of insight of what it's like to work with Amy Porterfield and be coached by her and all the things. So here's my conversation with Amy Porterfield.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to tell you about our next guest. Are you ready? I like to use my notes just to make sure I get this right. I like to tell people's stories right. And this one's Crystal? Yeah, okay, want to just make sure. So our next guest is Crystal. Now, Crystal used BSchool to help kickstart her business. She was a stay-at-home mom, and now she is a podcaster teaching other people how to podcast, and she's grown her email list by 700%. That's a lot. So yeah. Oh, Chloe's giving a little shout out here. I wish you guys could have seen that. So list building is a huge part of BSchool. If you don't have an email list yet, Marie's going to show you how to get one going. But if you have an email list, but it's not growing and you're not doing much with it, Marie's going to help you with that as well. So huge focus on list building. So we're going to talk about that with Crystal. So I won't make you wait any longer. Let's bring her on. Hey there, Crystal.
Hello, everybody.
How are you, girl?
I'm good. I actually have a quick update because I'm actually at 1,000%.
Oh my gosh.
It's 1,000% now.
Okay.
From my list of, it's awesome.
That is so awesome. I know you've been putting a really big focus on list building because, as you know, the energy of your business is directly tied to the strength of your email list.
Yes.
And you can do so much with an email list, make such a big impact, make so much money, but you've got to start somewhere. And I think BSchool is such a great place to start growing your email list. But before we get to all of that, so tell everybody where you're from, what your home life looks like, and tell us, I know I gave them a hint, but tell me a little bit more about the business you have today.
Okay, so I am located in Houston, Texas. I'm not originally from here, but I'm a Texas girl, y'all. And I know Amy laughs when I say y'all, but it just comes so natural to me. But before I joined BSchool, I had tried so many different things. I had tried writing a book. I tried doing YouTube. I tried blogging unsuccessfully for a very long time. And I just was very motivated. I've always been a very motivated person, but I just didn't have a lot of direction. And so really, I just feel like whenever I found BSchool, it was just like, okay, you've been kind of wandering in the woods, lost for a long time, like motivated to get out of this lost place. And then y'all gave me a roadmap and I just took off like a rocket.
You really did. I mean, one thing that was really extra special about you in BSchool, and I want to tell anybody who's thinking about joining BSchool through my BSchool bonus experience, that you got in my private Facebook group, which is one of my bonuses, and you just got active. You got really engaged. And I bet you did that in the bigger BSchool group as well, where what was your mindset around like just showing up in such a big way once you joined BSchool?
So it's really funny because I had a full circle moment that I'll talk about in a little bit from BSchool, but my husband always just likes to say, you've been a cheerleader all your life. And I literally have since the age of 4. I've been a cheerleader forever. And it just cheering others on and motivating people comes so natural to me. I really connect with Marie when she says, like, listen to the gifts that you already have. Like, what are the abilities and the skills that come natural to you, and listen to that. And that's really, I mean, of course, some of it was trying to figure things out on my own, but whenever I motivate others, it gives me that energy as well. So that's really where that comes from. It's just so much fun for me.
It's so fantastic. And I really do think it put you on the map. Like everybody in the group knows about you and they're so excited to see your success, and you've helped everybody. So you've made a huge impact. And this year you are a BSchool bonus member ambassador. So you're going to be in my private Facebook group helping other people as they navigate through BSchool. So thank you for that. That's really exciting. So same with Teresa. She's going to be there as well. So it's really fun to have you girls in the group and helping other people. But tell me a little bit about your journey. So before, like, you were trying a bunch of things, nothing was really working. You weren't making any money with the blogging and the stuff that you had tried before BSchool, right?
Right. 100%. I mean, it might have been a little like Amazon affiliate here and there that was like, oh, $1.40 hit your account. And I'm like, that can't even, no.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything.
Right. So you wanted to change that for sure. And so I love what you told your husband. You said something about, did you say you're the cheapest person you know? Or what was that? What did you tell me?
So I'm the cheapest person alive, like alive. Like I I watch every single penny. Like I'm so cheap when it comes to, I think not only, things that have to do with our day lives. We have 3 kids. We have
Yes.
3 kids and I've been a stay-at-home mom. And, whenever I decided to stay at home, I kind of made that my job, is to save our family money. And like, I started cooking and doing all these things that would help us save money. And so when B School came around,
that had to have been a lot of money for someone that doesn't like to spend money.
it was a tough conversation. And it's really hard to explain to someone who's not in tuned. My husband does not have an online marketing business. He doesn't follow all the people that I follow. He doesn't understand all the things. But when he could see how excited I was, and again, going back to Marie and being very in tune with your body, I felt very expansive when I thought about joining B School, and not like, oh my gosh, this is the worst decision I've ever made in my life.
Right.
I just felt on fire, and I knew that I had to do it. And he just looked at me and was like, okay, I mean, if I told you no right now anyway, it wouldn't even matter because I know you're going to do it. And I was just like, babe, I promise I'm going to make this work. And it's just been one of the best decisions that I made, the best decision I made of 2019 for sure, because so many other amazing things have happened.
Well, talk to me about that. Tell me like what life looks like now that you've gone through B School. What does your business look like? What does your life look like? Like, talk to me. Tell me about it all.
Yeah. So actually, and this is the full circle moment that I was just having. And I can't believe that everything fell in place. So I have really been wanting to take my podcasting journey and speak on stages and like become known as an authority in the podcasting space. And I just spoke this weekend at my first podcast conference. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, if you would have told me a year ago that I would be speaking in front of all these people and they'd be looking to me as the expert, asking me all these questions, I would have said, you're insane. There's no way. There's no way that would happen.
Okay,
yeah,
Crystal, that's huge. I remember when you're like, I think I'm going to teach people how to podcast. I've got this experience now. And now you're speaking on stages about your expertise, all in a year's time. I mean, when I tell people think about waiting another year to join B School. And I'm like, do you know how much you could do this year if you got into B School?
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe you were on stage doing that. Congratulations. I know that had to mean so much to you because you've worked so hard for that.
Yeah. And honestly, if I think about it, it hasn't even been a full year because I enrolled in B School around this time. And I decided with your guidance and, everybody in the B School community saying, hey, you got to rebrand, you got to switch, you got to go all in on one thing. And when I did that in May of last year. So it hasn't even been a full 12 months. And wow. I have there's so many amazing things that have happened. And I really wanted to touch on the 2 biggest contributing factors is creating content for a specific audience, not just for everybody, for a very specific audience, and then creating strategic partnerships along the way, like people that will pull you up and say, yes, let's do this together. And I would have never found that without B School. No, there's just no way.
So 2 really good things to point out that is definitely what you get in B School. And I know that you made an effort to find your people in B School and to make sure that you had accountability partners and you partnered with people that would tell you, hey, get up off the ground. You messed up. It's okay. Mm-hmm. We're going to keep going, or celebrate when you get to go on stage and talk about your expertise. And so having the people in your court, you found them in B School. And I absolutely love that. And you're so right. We talk about this in my private Facebook group, as well as Marie's program, that you've got to find your audience. And if you're speaking to everybody, you're speaking to no one. So you decided to work with female entrepreneurs who want to create podcasts. Right. Is that right?
Yeah, that's the majority of my audience. There's some guys that, they're like, hey, I'm here to hang out. And I'm like, that's cool. But, I'm really talking to the ladies.
I love that. Now,
they're my people.
Yes. And it's so fun when you decide who your audience is. And yeah, you're going to get other people on the periphery, and that's cool. It always happens like that. But just to put a stake in the ground and know who you're talking to gives you so much confidence. And that's what I really took away from B School when I went through the program. And I know you got so much of that as well. So now what do you do? Do you create courses? Do you coach? Like, how do you make money with what you do?
Yeah, so I have a podcasting course and it's open. It's actually I'm about to turn it on evergreen soon because I was
Woo!
launching a few times a year, but I've had so many people like, Crystal, I need this. I need this now. I want to create a course, like a podcast right now. I need your course. And I'm
Yes.
like, okay, like I got to give the people what they want, right? So, but I've been doing some private consulting. I'm working on a membership. I'm writing a podcast book. Like, what?
Who are you?
Like, okay, yes.
I mean, come on. This is so great. And this is why I wanted you on here today, because I remember when you just joined B-School, came into my B-School bonus experience, and you were not this person. You did not have this clarity. You did not have this confidence. You were a hustler. You were ready to do the work. I think that is part of who you are, but you weren't exactly sure how it was all going to come together. And then inside the private B-School group, we got to have a conversation around maybe a new direction you could go, and you weren't afraid to take the feedback and run with it. And so I think part of your success is you're an action taker. You take risks, you experiment, you make things happen. And all of this stuff is rooted in what you learn in B-School. So it's not like you were making this up as you went. You were learning how to do all of this in B-School. Would you agree?
Yeah, I would have to, the only like note I would put on that is I was still afraid. Let me be very clear. I was
Fair
still
enough.
afraid to put the stake in the ground and say, I'm going to do this. But the message with Marie saying start before you're ready was just, that was the voice in my head. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary, but anything worth having is going to be scary at times. And that's just what, like, okay, I trust Amy. I trust Marie. I'm going to go. The worst that could happen is no one signs up for my email list or no one listens to my podcast. And obviously the opposite of that has happened. So
yes.
yeah.
So look at you now. What do you think is like, if we're talking about specific things you learned in B-School, what do you think was one of the things that you're like, ooh, this was really good. This is one of the most helpful. This is what I love the most. Like, what would you pick out of B-School that helped you immensely?
So I'm a journaler. I've been journaling for years and years, and I'd never thought of there's an exercise in B-School where you write either how you would speak to your customer or how your customer kind of talks to themselves. Like, these are the things that I'm going through. So you talk about the struggles, like all the emotional connection that has to do with all successful online marketing is like, oh, you're overwhelmed, you're this, like you don't have enough time to spend with your kids, or you're working a job that you hate. Like, all the things that you learn in B-School just totally blew my mind because I went to school for marketing, guys. Like, this is what I went to school for, and I was not taught any of this.
That is such a great point. The fact that Crystal went to school for marketing, because I went to school for communications, very similar in that sense, and we didn't learn any of these modern marketing strategies when we were in college. It's hard because my son is 17. He's getting into colleges right now. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, basically what you need to learn is not going to be at that college, but I still want you to go and just have the experience.
Right.
But then we're going to do an online course when you're ready, and we're going to get you all the experience you need. So I love that you say that. And also, one of the things that you've done beyond, like, it's just so impressive that I think we need to really point out is you have grown your email list with strategies you learned in B-School. And what does it mean to you to have an email list? The fact that you have grown it so quickly and in such a great way, like, what does that mean to you now?
Being a woman in business comes with its own unique set of challenges, but also so many opportunities. We get ahead by leaning in to what makes us different from business as usual. I'm Samantha Hartley, host of Profitable Joyful Consulting, inviting you to a special 6-episode series exploring the experience of being a woman in business. You want to hear from women consultants who've hit $1 million, who sell 6-figure engagements, or who've broken their own revenue ceilings? Yeah, those are my clients, and they'll be sharing too. Join me for 6 must-listen episodes that tackle key challenges for women consultants.
Follow Profitable Joyful Consulting on your favorite podcast app.
I mean, at the end of the day, when you're setting your priorities and you're setting your goals, if you say, I want my email list to be number 1, top priority, then all the questions kind of just get thrown to the side. Like none of the other stuff matters if you're like, I'm going to add value to grow my email list, to serve the people that I want to serve. And like, that's really at the root of it. My mission in my life is to add value and help someone else. And I think I can do that with my email list. I can do that with weekly encouragement through my newsletter and just continuing to add value every single week. So whenever I think about that, it doesn't feel awkward and it doesn't feel spammy to say, I have this thing of immense value that will help you because I know you're struggling. I did my journal work. I know you're struggling. I know you're overwhelmed. I know you're looking for more time with your family. I know you want to learn how to batch podcasts so you don't have to record in your closet for 7 hours. I know all of the things, guys. I've done all the journal work, but it just kind of flips the whole thing on its head where marketing feels gross and spammy and awkward. And it's just something that I have no problem telling people that this is either for you or it's not. I'm good either way.
I mean, that's confidence. That's where you become a marketer. You feel really good about what you do. And that's the kind of marketer I think we all want to be. Like, take it or leave it. I'm for you or I'm not for you, but I know what I stand for and I know how I can add value. That's the kind of confidence you get in B-School. So what would you tell somebody who's on the fence right now, especially like, that's a lot of money. I just don't know if I can take the leap. Like, what would you tell them, Crystal?
So my first thing would be there's a payment plan.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Good point.
And I would really like kind of evaluate, where do you want to be a year from now? And do you have the resources and the tools in your kit to get you to where you're going? Because if you do, that's fantastic. I did not have that. I had a lot of misguided, like, hey, do this, do that. No, you should really do this. No, actually, I'm going to contradict everything this person says. And it was just too much information coming at me from all the free places, from the experts online, who that's a whole other issue. We won't get into that. Okay. But I want to talk to people that I trust. I want to learn from people that have been where I want to be. And that was the bottom line in me making the decision, is looking at you and Marie and what you've built. It's lasted. It's not a flash in the pan. It's not something that is going to be gone tomorrow. It's something that's here to stay. And that's really what it made me take a chance on myself. And actually, I showed up in a much bigger way because, and I know you say this all the time, because I had some skin in the game.
Yes.
I did show up in a much bigger way. And I finished B-School and I was like, guys, we're going to do this. I'm going to make it happen. There's no messing around. We paid like our hard-earned money for this course. You better bet your bottom dollar I'm going to show up. I was going to say something else, but
I love it. You kept it G-rated. So funny. So cute.
Yes.
So before I let you go, for anybody who knows me, you will understand what's on Crystal's shirt. But girl, you got to show your shirt.
Yes, I know. That's why I was like,
okay, wait. Let me go full screen. Hold on.
Okay, so if you go to the live event, this is something from a live event last year, but if you're familiar to Amy, you know, if you're multitasking, come back to me. There are some other shirts possibly in the works for this year that you can only see if you go to the live event.
Okay, so you will be there, right? You're going to be there in July.
Yes.
You're going to be giving tons of hugs and welcoming everybody there.
Yes. All the selfies, all the fun things.
So
I will
fun.
be there. And I hope to see you. If you are thinking about joining B-School, do it, guys. I'm telling you, if you have the funds and you're able to, it will blow your mind. That B-School magic is real and it's awesome.
It truly is. Crystal, I love you dearly. Thank you so much for coming on here. Congrats to all of your success. And I can't wait to see you in July.
Yes. Bye, guys.
Bye,
Thank
girl.
you.
Take care. Isn't she just amazing? I love her so much. And guys, I wish you could have seen Crystal when she first came into the B-School program. I saw her because she's in my B-School bonus experience, meaning we have a private Facebook group for just my special bonus group. So she came in there and she wasn't this girl. Like if you want to show up in a bigger way, if you know you're made for more, if you're like, Amy, I know I'm meant to do something bigger on this earth. I just know it. I just don't know what that is. Crystal did not know when she joined BSchool that she would become someone who would grow her own podcast, have massive success with that, grow her email list, and then start teaching other women entrepreneurs how to grow their own podcasts, how to start and grow their podcasts. If you told her that the minute she came into BSchool at this time last year, she would not have told you she was going to be doing that. Now she's speaking on stage at an event, telling other people how to podcast.
So what did you think? Oh my gosh. I love having conversations with Amy. She's so much fun and we just like to joke around and we just always laugh so much anytime we chat. And I so appreciate everything that she has taught me. And she continues to teach me on a daily basis without us like texting back and forth or having conversations all the time. I admire her so much for how she shows up and she serves her people so well. Her team, her audience, her students, her members of her community. And I just appreciate it so much because it's like I see it. It's right there. If you follow her, I'm sure you've seen it too. Maybe you've downloaded one of her free resources and if you haven't, oh my gosh, y'all, I will see something that she's created and I think, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Like, I don't know that's silly, but that's how it makes me feel. I'm like, I can see all the care that was put into creating this resource and it's 100% free. So for a long time, I kept thinking like, what is her paid stuff like? Like for real, this is so good and it's absolutely free. So I just wanted to share a little bit about Amy today. If you want to learn more about her, there is a link in the episode show notes, but you can also go to crystalprofit.com/Amy. This is a page that I put together that is some of my favorite resources that Amy has. I have her podcast on there. I have a few video conversations that we've had. And it's so fun. And what I want to really point to is she has a brand new quiz that I want you to take. This is under 2 minutes and it's all about how to find your path to creating a profitable digital course. Now I know some of you are like, Crystal, I'm just trying to get my podcast off the ground. I can't even think about monetizing my show or creating anything else. I just need to get my podcast, but I want you to reconsider. Because creating a digital course when you already have a podcast or content in the works or you're creating it is a lot simpler than you think. So go take the quiz and find out because you may find that a digital course is perfect for you. But Amy will also tell you if she thinks that there could be another route for you to take. But one other thing, Amy is actually right in the middle of a course Kickstarter bootcamp. What is that? It is a Facebook group dedicated to helping you make 7 key decisions around creating your digital course. And it's 100% free. I know, right? Like those words, like just fire bells. Fire bells? Is fire bells a thing? I don't even know how that came out, but it just makes like bells go off in my head. Anytime I hear the word free, I get really excited. I'm like, ooh, what's free? So she has this Facebook group where there are literally, and I'm blown away by how many people, there are thousands. Last time I checked, I want to say there was close to 7,000 people in the group and it just opened. This is a 30-day boot camp and it just opened and it's for the month of August. So if you're listening to this at a later time, there's a good chance that it's already shut and gone. But this is a fantastic resource to explore some of the ideas or just throw around some of the concepts that you've thought about for making money with your podcast. And I would love to see you in there. You will absolutely see a familiar face because I am in there. I'm in the chat, hanging out with everybody, and I can't wait to see what ideas come out of this bootcamp Kickstarter. But that's all I have for you today. So like I said, check out the show notes, crystalprofit.com/episode 176. And remember, keep it up. We all have to start somewhere. Hey, Profit Podcast listeners. Thanks for sticking around to a little bit after the episode to hear this special message because I want to hear from you. We are starting a new segment called Fan Mail Shoutouts, and I want to hear from you and I want to hear your questions. What do you want to know? What questions have you been dying to ask me? So here's how to make this happen. Go to the app where you're listening to this podcast right now. Go there. I'll wait a second. Okay. Now, once you're there, you're going to see a hyperlink at the top of the episode description that says, send Crystal a text message. And that's all I want you to do. Send me a text. It could be casual, informal. It could be totally anonymous. Or if you want, you can include your name and the name of your podcast or content wherever you are creating, and I will give you a special shout out in an upcoming episode. So again, go to the show notes for where you're listening to this episode right now, and it will say, send Crystal a text message. And I cannot wait to hear from you and give you a shout out in an upcoming segment of Fan Mail Shoutouts.